Hello, everyone. I'm Agustina Jaime. I'm from McNeil, Europe. In this webinar, we have the pleasure of having Cadia Romano with us. She will cover the origin, design, and production process of recreating the historic crown, including software utilization, stone placement, segmentation, lightweight elements, materials, and production phases. Cadia Romano, a jewelry enthusiast, began her studies at the LAO school in Florence at 16, specializing in goldsmithing at various institutions across Europe, graduating in culture of fashion and style with a focus on goldsmithing from the University of Florence in 2010. She further honed her skills in sacred and sexual goldsmithing, enamelling, sorry if I don't pronounce it well, engraving, lost wax, and more. So after 7 years at Bulgari High Jewelry Workshop, Cadia now works as a freelancer designer and lectures at Accademia Italiana University in Rome. So we have an open chat that everyone is welcome to make questions, and I will read them at the end for Cadia to answer. If there's a lot of questions, we can also stop in the middle. And I saw already a question there, and I will upload this webinar in our YouTube channel of our webinars in a couple of days, and then you can see the recording of it. So welcome, Cadia, and whenever you're ready, you can start.
Thank you so much, Agustina. Good afternoon to everyone, and thank you to be here. I will show my screen. Okay, can you see my screen without problem?
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, perfect. Okay. The project that I will explain today is called L'Enigma della Corona in Italian, because began a book, and all the project is about a 3D crown reconstruction about the crown of Charles III of Bourbon. The dream team, if you want to say this, is about Professor Ciro Paolillo. He is a professor of Sapienza University in Rome. Is a professor of investigative gemology course. He's also author of several books about jewelry and historical jewelry, like Enigma of the Crown, Tears of the God, Pigot, Mystery of the Lost Diamond. He also collaborates and still collaborates right now with the University of Campania, Luigi Vanvitelli. They work about the Pompeii jewels, so all the archaeological part of the jewelry in Pompeii, and also with the San Gennaro Treasure Committee in Naples. Also, Professor Harkovito, he is also the investigative gemology professor at La Sapienza University, and he collaborated, is a gemologist, and collaborate with Luigi Vanvitelli and San Gennaro Treasure Committee in Naples. That means that they always study and help to have in the better way all the treasure of San Gennaro. At the end, myself, as said before, Agustina, I'm a coordinator of jewelry course of Accademia Italiana, worked for several years in Bulgari, starting as a goldsmith, and then developed my idea about the 3D jewels. For this project, I have to explain some information. The main character of this history were Elisabetta Farnese, that is a very important woman in the past because she was Italian. She was a Duchess of Parma. And then at 22, 24 years, she became the wife of King Philip of Spain. And then she became the mother of Charles III. Her son, Charles III, was the eldest son of King of Spain. He was a lucky man because was a descendant of a powerful families like Medici from Florence, Farnese like her mother from Parma, and also he had some descendants from Paris in France with Louis XIV. And for that, her mother and all the collaborator study a lot of strategies to create a kingdom for Charles, who for luckily event succeed in he conquered the southern Italy and became the king of Naples and Sicily. It happened in 1735, the same year in which her mother, Elisabetta, made this wonderful object that was the crown of Charles III. Okay. Three fun facts about this crown. The first one is then when Charles III moved from Naples City to Palermo City to transfer his court, there is a storm that destroyed a ship from his fleet, and they say that in this ship there is all the royal treasure, all the jewelry, all the gemstone, all including this famous crown. If we analyze the iconographic source that we can find in the museum or in the royal apartment or in the art history book, we can see that there are some reference about this crown, but in every portrait that we can observe, we can see that this crown is always completely different. And the third fun fact was about this mysterious and strange pink diamond. In the description about this this crown, the goldsmith Claudio Imbert talking about a big diamond or a purple diamond about 42 carats. And this is a strange and very, very rare diamond that after the disappearance of the crown, there was never again any news about this diamond, no letters, no documents, no references, no action. This diamond was completely dissolved. Maybe all the historian professor and all the students that they are working on this thought that maybe this definition about the pink or the purple diamond was a fake definition. It means that maybe could be an element that in the past the goldsmith used to insert between the bezel and the gemstone a teeny metal sheet to to create more light in the diamond. In this case, could be that this metal sheet could be with a pink enamel or something like this. We have also to do to say that when the Charles III lost his ship, he used this excuse maybe to create a situation in which they can say that all the treasure was completely lost, but actually they have the gemstone and they have the jewels, and maybe then they can resell jewels and gemstone. For that hypothesis, because we don't know if it's right or not, it's so strange, this situation about the pink diamond, because if this idea was right, it means that this pink diamond one day could be found but in all of this time, starting 1735, this diamond is completely disappeared. As I said before, if we analyze all the painting, all the reference that we have, the iconography reference that we have, we can see that in the background we have always the crown of Charles III, but they are always different, more bigger, more leader, with the pearl, without pearl, only in gold and silver, with the globe, in this case, globe, and at the end of the globe, on the top, we have a diamond cross. In this case, we have the fleur-de-lis, it's the flower of Medici house. Why we have this a different part? Because it was a custom of a royal family when they did a portrait with the painter, they pose with the clothes, jewels, and crown once, and then the painter have to imagine all the detail, all the elements that one day he saw about with the royal family or the royal element. For that, we don't have right element from the iconography resources, because they are always completely different. But in Naples, in Archivio di Stato, Professor Paolillo found this important document about the goldsmith Claudio Imbert. That is the goldsmith that did completely the crown. He did the original design, and this goldsmith was chosen by Elisabetta Farnese because he knew his brother, this is a famous French engraver, and chose Claudio Imbert. In this document, we can find a lot of information about all the elements that we can have in the front of the crown, but is not completely full of information about the back of the ground, and this is very strange. If we know that in the crown was divided in 6 arms, and then we have 4 ribbon in the front and 8 ribbon in the back, on the top of the crown we have a globe, that means the earth, and on the top of the globe we have a cross did with different sides and cut of diamond, but we don't know how the back was. We can try to understand reading all the information of this document. But if we analyze and if we observe the this project, we can see that the perspective and the proportion are not completely right, because if we can see that the crown is a little has a little rotation. In this case, we can see the first line of the diamond, and we can see the top of the diamond, but in the same, we can see also the back of the front of the sorry, the back of the ground, and the same we can see the top. Instead, we have to see the culé of the diamond. Also, in this part, we have a point that could be very fragile, because we know that this part is a full globe with diamond, so it's not possible that all this structure have only this fragile point. And also, the final cross on the top is leader than the description of the sides and the information that we have in this document. So starting from this imaging and also the information, we start to work on this project. And the process was about 3 steps. The first one was the development by Rhinoceros software. The second part is about the 3D printing, how to use the bezel, the correct bezel, and about the use of castable resin and all the reduction that we have with the 3D printing. And the third one was the silver casting piece assembly and the final gold plating, and also the gemstone gem setting. Starting from the development by Rhinoceros software, I want to show you my screen with my file, my real file in Rhino. I simplify the final file because, to be honest, I worked on 25 file different, because in this project there are a lot of elements. We are talking about 200 gemstone and a lot of decoration like fleur-de-lis and acanto leaf and something like this. So the file became very, very big and very, very heavy. So I have divided in different files to work easily and without problem. And okay. Okay. Starting from first one, okay, I want to show you, sorry, I want to show you the top view about the ground, because in my mind, when we talk about in 6 arms, I have to divide the 6 arms in equally way, because in my mind I thought about crown of Elizabeth II in England, or Corona Ferrea. They have always some modules that are the same and made the crown. In this case, my original idea was completely wrong, because as I said before, in the description, we found the element that in the front of the crown, we have 4 ribbons, and in the back, we have 8 ribbons. It means that I have to find the space between the arms to insert different ribbons. In this case, I analyze the original design from Invert, and we understand that the original shape have to be this one. In the front, we have 5 arms, like the design, and in the back only 1 arms. Also, we know that on 6 arms, we have 5 that are the same, with the same decoration, same number of diamonds, same position. Only the central one is different because in the middle, these arms have the big purple diamond. When we analyze sorry, but it's very, very heavy.
That happens to me all the time.
I try to delete everything I want to simplify, but at the end, it's very, very big file. When we analyze the design, we can see that actually the front is the same because we have the 5, obviously the perspective in the design is wrong, but we have the 5 arms that we can see in the front view, and the last one that is completely covered by the central one. To start the volume of the volume of the crown, we have to understand which diameter we have to use and also which is the height. For that, I use for the first experiment a diameter about my father's head, and starting from 18 centimeters. Starting from this one, okay, I try to insert all the diamond that the description say that in this space I have to insert. So when I understand that the dimension is correct, I have so the final diameter. I have to work on the height of the crown. If I compare the first experiment and the second one, this one, the first one, is completely wrong from the division of the arms, but also is wrong because it's too big. We have seen in the last picture about the portrait that the crown is always different, but is always a little crown, not a bigger. So I have to understand which is the external line, sorry, this one, the aesthetic line that I have to follow. And with the number and the correct size of diamond that Imbert described in his document, I create the first idea about how many spaces I need, how many space I need for the diamond, how many tolerance I have to put between every diamond, and also I have to understand which type of basil I have to use for this crown, because in the document there is no information about this one. Could be a basil with grifts, we don't know. But we can see that in the original design, we see the diamond, a teeny metal, a teeny line of metal, it seems, along the diamond, and then all the decoration that is acanto leaf. For that, we try with, in this case, are synthetic gemstone, we try to find same size and same cutting of the gemstone and try to create the correct position of the gemstone. This one obviously is the central one with the reference of the pink gemstone. After this, I create this basil that I will show you in lateral view, on your right view. Okay. Okay. In this, we can see the lateral part of the. I create this type of basil that are flared because you can insert the gemstone inside the basil without problem. You can insert, because we have also to understand how we have to assemble this type of project. In this case, in this basil, you can put and insert the gemstone without problem until the edges. Because if we zoom, we can see that have a special border here that stop the gemstone, and the gemstone can't go out from the basil. To be sure about the right position, also I had engraving channel. Okay, engraving channel in the inner part of the basil. I will show you. With a lot of time, but I will show you. Okay, this part, in which the lateral part of gemstone arrive and stop it, because we have all the same cut of gemstone. So we have two elements that three help to insert the gemstone and stop in the right position. At the end, when we are sure that all the gemstones are in the right position, we use this part that is like okay. The back part of the basil, in Italian, is called filetto, that works like a cap, works like a stop, because in this part, when you insert the gemstone, this part come a little bit inside the basil, and for that the gemstone was blocked on the top and on the bottom, and you can laser this part. You can stop completely the gemstone, and also we can have the possibility to have a lot of light in the same time. So we have three elements that can help to us to insert and block in the right position and easily the gemstone in the structure. And at the same moment, we have a possibility to have a lot of light. So in this case, we work with the synthetic gemstone, okay, but if we have to use diamond or precious gemstone, we need a lot of light to have a good situation about the metal and the gemstone, and the contrast between metal and the gemstone. At the end, at the beginning, I choose without without time. Okay. Okay. My idea is about starting a thickness about 0.9 millimeters, 1 millimeters, because at the end of the structure, we have always the acantholith and the globe. So we need a solid structure. But we did some example in 3D printing and also in silver casting, and 1 millimeter was too big because the weight of the crown had to be less or more 1 kilos, and with this thickness could be a lot of maybe 2 kilos or 1.8 kilos. So I have to reduce that, and I arrived to the conclusion that I have to use 0.7 millimeters to have a solid structure to insert all the basil, and to put on the surface all the acantholith, this one. When I create the structure of the gemstone, as I show you before, I worked with a simple command like scroll along curve, and always worked with the record history activated, because during this work, I always trying how to move all the basil, all the gemstone, to understand which is the correct rotation, which is the correct space between all the basil, and also because because this crown is not a simple jewels in which we usually work on it. We worked on volume about 18 centimeter of diameter and 25 centimeter of height. At the end, when I find the right position of the gemstone and created the right basil, I analyze the correct measurement about the length of these arms and then I arrive to 20 centimeters. At this, I have to add all the decoration about the final part of the acantholith, the globe, and the diamond cross. At the end, the final height was 25. For that is very, very difficult for us to print all the element because we don't have a 3D printer that have a big plane for this type of object, but also because during the casting process, we have to respect some measurement about the metal box that usually casters using. So I have to divide it in 72 pieces, this crown. Okay. It means that I have to divide it in the best way, all the part. I have to not damage the basil, the decoration. I have to be so clean during the cut, like a surgery, because we have to assembly without problem. Or in the other way, we lost a lot of time, and for sure all the pieces doesn't match doesn't match between them. So I have to one day I have to divide, for example, the first part of the crown, this one, the first part of the crown and the gemstone. And as you can see, I have to divide sometimes some basil. Also, I have to divide the second level of the gem of the crown. But to do this, I have to create some metal reference to understand which is the correct position and which is sorry, but it's very, very big. Okay. No. Which is the correct position, and also how we can assemble without problem. Always I work with the little sphere and bigger sphere in the way that I can create a system, an interlocking system that allow us to don't have some problem during the assembly. And I divide this part with a tolerance between these two parts, and this tolerance is usually 0.05 millimeter or 0.8 millimeters, and in the opposite way, I have the sphere, and in the other part, I have the hole that, that is more bigger than the sphere. In this way, when we have the silver pieces without polishing the surface, we can put all together, and they can match together without problem. Obviously, all of these pieces have to be melted together. So, and it was very, very, very hard, because a lot of pieces, a lot of element, and a lot of metal. So we have to use a lot of high temperature to make and soldering all together this part. I want to show you also that all the elements with the basil have the same structure, with the same shape of the basil, with the same tolerance, the same project about engraving element, and we can use here the back part to block, to stop completely the gemstone. Okay, as I said before, if in the front we have 4 ribbon, that they have more bigger because they have 5 gemstone, 2 different sides and 2 different cutting. In the back we have 8 ribbon. Here I am. Oh, okay. 8 ribbon with 3 different with the 3 gemstone, 2 different sides and 2 different cut. At the end of the ribbon, we can find always the reference about the acanto leaf, or and also in the middle we have to add the fleur de lis, the sign, the flower from the Medici family. at the top, we can find this element. This is done with the 8 acantholith, the same acantholith with the rotation. The globe, the final globe with the diamond, and the structure with a different type of basil for the diamond, for the cross, the final cross. This blue part is about a flower decoration that is in some painting, and if we analyze the design, we can see that there is also in the design. It's very, very, very teeny, but there is here in this part. If we analyze different painting, we can see that sometimes this flower decoration doesn't exist, or sometimes these flower decoration are more bigger, and there are big than like the middle of the ground, like 10 centimeters or 15 centimeters. For this reconstruction, we try to do something that could have the right proportion about the design and the aesthetic line that we used. For that, I create this part. Always they have interlocking mechanism that those are under the final part, maybe. Okay. No. Okay. Okay. Here you go. Okay. Also, in this case, I use the same sphere interlocking system, because the sphere is the more simple element that we can use during this projection, this project about the interlocking system, because you don't have a problem during the casting. You don't have to modify the surfaces. Maybe if we use a square, you could have some problem. Cube, not a square. You could have some problem in the angle, because during the casting, maybe you could have some problem, some dirty element inside, or maybe some metal, adding metal in the angle. And for that, this type of interlocking mechanism doesn't work. With the sphere and this type of tolerance, always the assembly is very simple, and we don't have a problem during the casting. If I will show you the second file about that, maybe. Okay. This one is the final part, more faster. The final part of the crown, I prepared all the part with the cross and the globe. To make this globe more lighter, I divided this part, this globe, in two parts, and I give a thickness about 1.5 millimeters because I need a good thickness to have the gem setting the diamond on the surface. Also, in this case, I have a little element that could help me to put all the element in the right position. Also, the diamond cross, as we can see, I have a rectangular element that is that perfect fit in the hole that I create for the in the globe, always with the tolerance 0.08. It means that when I have all the pieces from the casting, I didn't need to polish the surface because they fit together without problem. And also I created with a simple sweep to rail a new element like a canto leaf or a natural element like in this way, and use a simple and use a simple scroll along curve to modify and create my final element. Okay. Obviously in the wrong direction. Always I work with the record history activated because I want to decide to modify during the project the position, because I have to understand if my idea about the first position is correct or not. Try again. Okay. In this case, when I work with the record history activated, when I have the final result, I can, and if I don't like it, I can modify directly the object as I want. Okay. And I can decide which is the perfect position. In this case, I modify again because this part could be a problem for the globe. After this, I use a simple polar ray with 0 and 8 elements. And I have my project. Usually, when I try to make some surfaces, I did a lot of experiment about surfaces, movement, line, but at the end, I always try to simplify all the process, because when I simplify the 3D process, obviously my file will be very, very bigger and higher, but if I simplify the process, could be very useful, helpful for me, because I will not have some problem. Usually, I love a lot network curve, scroll along curve, all the situation that can help to me to simplify the process and can help to me to have a good result and reduce the time that I work on the surface. Sorry, on the project. And for that, okay, for that, I want to show you the other two step. Sorry. Okay. About the 3D printer and all the elements that we did with the 3D printing. In this case, we used a castable resin. In my case, I use X1. And after the 3D printing, I check all the gemstone inside the basil to understand if the sides are correct, because I have always to remember that the resin after UV ray and after the cure could have a reduction about 0.5 or 1%. So I have to develop my project always with a little with a little percentage. I have to add in the final file usually plus 1% about the final product, because I have to remember that after all the steps for the 3D printing, I could have some problem about the size and the correct measurement. This was what we had after the silver casting. All the elements that we printed with the 3D printer was casted in silver. We tried the interlocking mechanism to understand if all the pieces can match all together. And as I said before, we have to divide the crown in over 70 pieces, because for I don't know if in today there are someone that work in the jewelry field, but I think yes. We have to use a special technique called lost wax technique. It means lost wax was an ancient technique that was used in the past and also today for the goldsmithing, the jewelry, and especially for artistic way, for the sculpture, especially for the bronze, the statue. And it consists in the creation of a model in a perishable material that you can destroy with the high temperature, like wax, natural wax or synthetic wax. And when you have the final product that you have did with this type of material, you can cover it all the product with a special plaster or gypsum. Sorry, I have a problem. And after this, when we create the we cover it with the plaster. We placed this structure with this two layer, the wax model and the plaster layer in a furnace in which we can melt the wax part. In this way, we can destroy the wax part, and we have like a negative mold in the plaster. Obviously, in the bottom of the plaster, we have a hole and that we use this hole to go out the wax. And when we have the negative mold in plaster without wax inside, we can use the same hole to pour the molten metal. You can use every metal you want, the copper, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. Obviously, there are some difference about the temperature, but you can do it. And for that, usually in jewelry, we have this part that we in Italian call it cilindri. There are metal box in which we create the plaster negative part, and we have to respect the measurement that the caster office have. For that, I have to divide all the ground in different elements, and as you can see here, they have to be assembly in a wax structure, and also we have to create some element that can help to destroy this material and go out through this part. And the final product, when we finish this type of technique, is this part. This is the same, and this is the 3D printed element with the castable resin, and this is in silver. Oh, sorry. The final result was at the end this one. When we put all together all the pieces, in this case, the globe and the final cross didn't be here. And this one is the final part with the gold-plated surfaces. And in this part, we can see the silver part gold-plated with all the mirror surfaces polishing, and also all the gemstone gem setting. For the final product, they had also this traditional textile from interesting company in the South Italy, Setteria San Giorgio in Caserta. They create special type of clothing textile with the same material and the same structure that all the people use in the past, all the aristocratic people use in the past. Those are all the information about this in this project. At the end, I can see that I work on this 3D project for 450 hours, because I have to work on two projects. The first one that is completely wrong, and the second one, and also 200 hours about the 3D printing, because with the division of the crown, we can print in the same time with the different 3D printing, different element, but sometimes happens that 3D printing doesn't work or the pieces are not okay. So we try several times. At the end, we did it. And also we had, as usual, sometimes problem with the final casting. So we have to try. At the end, we finish it, and for all the process about the assembly and soldering together, gold plating and gem setting, they spent other, I think, 500 or 700 hours of work about it. In general, I love to say that 3D is fantastic. Obviously, I love to work in 3D, but it's very important to understand which is all the traditional technique, because also in this part, when I have to create the acanto leaf, all the decoration, I have to understand how the repoussé chisel can work, and this is a traditional technique, or how the gem setter have to work on the metal. I have to understand and I have to know which are the perfect thickness about the metal if I want to gem setting a diamond cut around on the surface, and so on. So it was a good challenge to understand how the tradition and how the technology can work together, and how many minds and hands have to work all together to have this final product. If you survived to this presentation, thank you so much. If you have some question, I'm here for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cadia. That was amazing. It's very interesting to see also the story behind, and I really wonder how they didn't try to search for the boat. I was wondering that about the lost ship. But I have some questions about the process. And the first one is from Wasif, is how often do you make such crowns? Is it just for this webinar that you choose to make a crown? Oh, you're silent.
Sorry, I didn't understand because I closed the audio and I didn't hear the question.
Oh, is it that you usually do these crowns, or it's just for the webinar that you design, that you choose to make it?
In general, I try to make all the information in a for me to understand better the project, I have to do a list of all the information to better explain to me, and also for the project and how to develop all the element that I have to use for that. A lot of question.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. The name of the resin was that I used, and for me it was very good. It's X1, X1 or X5. This is a resin by Blue Cast. It's an Italian brand.
So, and another of the questions. So the first one was how often do you make such crowns? So is it just for this webinar that you chose to make a crown?
No, only for this.
Only for this.
Yes.
And then another question.
For the final presentation, when we finish the project, we have a presentation in Naples with the other professor, but only for this, because a lot of work on this.
Yeah, I see the amount of hours put on this. Then I have two questions related to the acanthus leaves. One is from Diego and the other one is from Joe. So Diego says if you could explain your approach in drawing the acanthus leaf. And Joe says, did you physically model the acanthus leaves?
The first for Diego, I studied and I'm graduated in art history. So I study a lot about all the decoration element. I find some references by the museum on internet, and then try again with about the idea and about Rhino, because with the Rhino I can experiment a lot of situation in the same time that maybe I spent 1 hour to try to do the acanto leaf, and I did 3 or 4 examples. Instead, if I try to do by hand, I can do that because usually I work with my hand, but I have only one result. So I try to combine these two parts and find some references. I decide which I like and start. The second file that you see about the acanto leaf, I'm starting from a simple sweep to rail, but I modify a lot all the shape that I will use to create at the end my final part. And to be honest, when the shape and the volume is I like it, but it's not too much. I continue with the modification about the bounding box. So I modify the volume and understand also if with this modifies, I can reduce the thickness of the metal, for example, because I have to check the thickness to understand if it's possible to have this type of element, or is too thin and is impossible. It's not possible to print, to cast, and to polishing surface, and so on.
Sorry.
No, I don't remember the second question.
Oh, if you physically model the acanthus leaves.
It depends. In this case, no, because we don't have much time, so I have to reduce the time of experiment. But yes, usually I try with plaster or with the other soft wax to understand which is the volume, or maybe the paper, because starting from the idea, the volume, the initial volume about with the paper or other material, I can understand if when I work in 3D could work or not. Because we have also considered that usually when you work on a laptop with the software, you can see a ring 2 centimeters like 24, and for you it's okay, wow, it works, and at the end, no, it doesn't work because you don't realize that then maybe the interlocking mechanism is too teeny, it's impossible to have the match all together. So always say that to work better, to work good, in 3D modeling, you have to work with your hand and understand the elasticity of the material, all the volume. You have to understand also the weight, because you have to understand that if you create, for example, I don't know, a glass, maybe if I create this part that's full or empty, it changes completely my weight. And so there are a lot of things that I have to to think about it to understand how to develop my idea.
Yeah. So there's a couple more, more than a couple actually questions. So for the gemstones, did you use modern cut, or did you also try to recreate the old ones from Stefan?
Professor Paulillo and Professor Arcovito try to recreate the same cut. If we see the final photo of the final product, you can see that the gemstone are not shining like normal diamond or normal synthetic gemstone. To be honest, it was very, very hard to recreate because those type of cut that they used in the 1735, now it's completely deleted from our tradition. So it's very complicated, and you have to find a professional cutter that know all the information to cut all in the right element that you need.
And Marco asked, how much is the weight of silver in grams?
At the end, 1 kilos and 400 grams. Yeah.
So does have you only used Rhino 7? Jose asked, and he also says beautiful work, Cadia, which there's a beautiful feedback also in the chat about your presentation.
Thank you.
But
I use only Rhino 6. I know.
Only Rhino 6.
Yeah. I love Rhino 6, but only because I worked in the past with the company laptop. Now I change and I have the license for the Rhino 7. But to be honest, I love a lot Rhino 5 and 6 because they are so they are so lovable.
Not the answer I expected, but no. So Daniel asked what diameter was used on the center sprue. Sorry if I didn't get it right.
In the if I'm not wrong, I think that is a square cut and is 20 millimeters. I don't remember. Because at the end we change the gemstone and it is not a rectangular shape, but is a square shape. And yeah, I think that octagonal cut, sorry, about 20 millimeter, I think. But I don't remember, to be honest.
Thank you. But Annie also asked, would you repeat the location of the textile from Italy? I think it was south, no?
Yes, in the southern Italy, Caserta. It's near Reggia di Caserta. That was one of the most important architecture that Charles III built in the past. And there is this company called, if I'm not wrong, Seterie San Giorgio.
If not, you can also send
San Leucio, sorry.
And then we can share it with everyone once we upload the recording in our YouTube channel.
Seteria San Leucio, sorry, I was wrong about the name. And they have the same tools and the same machine that the people used in the past, in 18th century, to make textile. And they have the same textile, the same structure, the same decoration that they did in the past, and also recreate for this project the same textile that they used in the disappeared crown. What 3D printer? This is a wonderful question because I use my printer. For the first experiment, I use Iligu Mars 2 Pro. And then for the second part of the crown, we use, I create that, I think that the name could be CPX. This type of 3D printer use not a solid resin, sorry, a liquid resin, but they use like a strange solid resin with I think a little bit of wax inside, and this helps to have a perfect casting during the process.
I was trying to find it, I couldn't find. Yeah. So I asked, were the large gemstones set from the back of the crown?
I don't. The much larger.
So if the large gemstones set from the back of the crown, I don't know.
All the gemstone are setting in the same way. Maybe in this case, the gem setter reduce a little bit the top border, because there are a lot of metal, so we have to reduce the metal on the gemstone, but all the gemstone have the same system. So you can insert from the back, and then you can stop in the channel engraving, and then you can use the metal structure as a lead and stop completely the gemstone.
Henry asked, can you give us a link to the website for resin? And I think someone did share a link. It was for blue cast.
Yes,
info,
Blue
is that perfect?
Blue cast or X. If I want, I can write you in the chat. This is this one or this one.
I'll also try to recollect these links and share them with the recording.
You find it on Google, you can find a lot of companies that are resellers of this type of resin.
So somebody asked, David asked again for the printer about the, then Marco asked, were the various pieces all welded or even joined with riveted pins?
No, melted all together without melting pins, because it's too big and too heavy with the for us could be problematic to use pins, because during the transfer and especially during the gem setting could be dangerous, and all the pieces could be destroyed during the gem setting. So we choose to melt it all together with the high temperature and the traditional technique in jewelry, and all the structure have to be very, very solid. Also, because in the top we have to put this part of the acanto leaf that if we see the photo about the 3D printer, you can see, oh, it's so teeny, it's so cute. But to be honest, I think that its weight is about 100 grams. So
Wow.
for us, it's not possible to think about the pins because it's not very safe for us and also for the people that have to transfer the and to have to work on the crown.
Related to that, actually, Gary asked where can we see the crown now?
Now I think that is or in Sicily or in Spain, because the final deal of this project is to give as a gift this crown to the King of Spain.
Interesting.
Yeah. When we have the first presentation in May in Naples, we had a professor from Madrid and also the brother of the Spain Infante. I don't know in English Infante how we can to translate. Yes, and they we show the final product and starting to the presentation about in all the part in which Charles III had his reign. So in Spain, in Naples, and in Sicily. And now we have to work in a second crown because a lot of people want to show or to want to organize some show about the crown, and it's impossible for us to, and it's dangerous for the crown to do a lot of transfers. So maybe it's possible to move two different crown and reduce the transfer about
the same.
Yeah, the same
crown.
Yes, the same crown, and but we have to. But it's only an option. We are not sure about that because we have to understand in Spain what they want.
Wow. So Annie asked, what year was the crown finished? And all the terms used are natural, correct?
Year was the crown finished this year, in starting in September 2022, and official the final product, gold plating, gem setting, and show to the and had to had the presentation in Naples in May 2023. All the central part, the purple diamond was an amethyst. Yes, it was natural, and the other are synthetic.
Okay. Did you use Rhino render or did you use another?
For the first step, always use Rhino render. I modify something and I create my material library, my light, I understand. And then if I need something particular, I use K-Shot.
Okay, that was a question by Elisa, by the way.
Okay.
Thank you. I think I've answered all the questions. I don't know if anyone else wants to ask something now, but I think we reached the time. Just René Medel that says Royal Kid Aspiring Prince. So I imagine that this crown is more a private project at the end than a public
yes,
object.
It's private.
And Ban, she now says some tips for Rhino. I would say to download Rhino 8 beta. which is available now?
My tips on Rhino in general is try to simplify the process. As I said always to my student is if you have a good curve, you will have good surface and you will have good solid. Try to create good surface without problem, or if you find some naked edge or problem with the edges, you have to solve at the base, at the origin of the problem, because when you solve quickly a problem in this moment could be okay because you need the 3D printing, I have to go, okay. But in the future, this little problem will be a enormous problem. So always pay attention about how you have to repair and make your model. And also, you have to design with the Rhinoceros. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. To be honest, there are a lot of opportunities with the old version of Rhino that are very, very interesting. And the sub D, for example, that it means that I'm not crying at night trying to modify something with the binding box, because if you have a good structure, you can modify. So I think that Rhino could help to you to improve your idea about everything you want, because it's not about only the jewelry. But you have also improved your idea about the handcraft, the craftsmanship, and all the material that you want to understand better the situation.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
For your time, for your presentation, and thank you everyone for joining. Quick question that I can't let it go. Marco asked if you tried it or if you put it in your head. I don't
No.
think.
No, unfortunately not. No.
But thank you so much, Cadia, and nothing. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Agustina, for this opportunity, for your time. Thank you for your email. Thank you all the people that today were here. Thank you a lot.
Amazing work.
I were very, very anxious, but go. It's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rhino. Thank you, McNeil. And also again, thank you, Agustina, for your time. Thank you.
Lovely. We'll see you again. Bye, everyone, and thank you.
Bye.